So I'm here with Angus MacLane and Galyn Susman. Finally back in person. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
Thank you for a wonderful film.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Thank you.
We all love Toy Story, Toy Story movies. And now we finally get to see the film that made Andy want to have a Buzz Lightyear toy. So at what point did you realize that it would be interesting to have a look at Buzz Lightyear's backstory?
Well, I'd always been interested in the Buzz Lightyear backstory ever since I started the studio in 1997. But I felt like there was never really any room to explore that. But after I finished Finding Dory, I thought maybe it'd be fun to do a straightforward sci-fi action adventure starring Buzz Lightyear and just explore his world and get to meet a character. We're used to seeing him as a side character, and now he's the main character, and that's would be a fun challenge.
And with this film, Pixar finally has its own space saga. There are so many scenes that remind me of other sci-fi films. Do you both have a favorite science fiction film?
Yes. My favorite science fiction film is Aliens, the 1986 James Cameron film. You know that.
I know. No, I'm just trying to think, do I have it? Like, do I really have a favorite science fiction film?
Of course you do. Lightyear, 2022.
Lightyear, 2022. Probably, well, the one that was most influential on me was 2001. I'm a little older than he is.
I think I would see that in the film. I really love that film.
Thank you.
So now we know everything, or almost everything, about Buzz Lightyear. Are there any other plans to explore more backstories from other Toy Story characters?
Not currently, no.
Maybe Woody would be a perfect match for a Sergio Leone style.
I feel like Woody is kind of handled by the Woody's Roundup, but yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't think that would be our thing. We're really excited about Buzz and the sci-fi world.
Angus, you joined Pixar in 1997.
That's correct, yeah.
So which means that this year you're celebrating 25 years.
That's correct, yeah.
And you're even longer with Pixar since 1990.
Exactly.
So when you look back over all those years, technically speaking, what has changed and what has stayed the same?
I can answer this one. Everything's changed. The thing that's maintained is that it's still really hard to do anything. Not anything, but it's the process. Making a movie is still really challenging because as much as we develop new technology, we also raise the appetite for the things that we want to do. So it's always new technology. Oh wait, let's try this. New technology, let's try this. So for this film, scope was the big thing. We did a lot of little things, a lot of effects, a lot of atmospherics, a lot of cloth, a lot of spaceships, a lot of lasers. So all of these things combined to be quite challenging. That on top of our Imax release meant we were kind of doing a lot of technical things all at once. There wasn't one big technical problem we were trying to solve, other than being under the umbrella of making this a cohesive sci-fi film that required some thought and some careful modulation of what we spent our time on doing.
So would this film have been possible, say, 10 years ago?
No. I think when we
started it right at the right in there. Yeah. So here's an interesting metric that I'm thinking about it now that you're saying it. Just if computers, right? When we did Toy Story, the amount of air conditioning we had to have enough computers to compute the film was insane, right? This was like a big issue. And so we were really careful that a frame wouldn't take more than 4 hours to render, okay? That same frame now you could render on your cell phone in less than a minute, first of all. Now we spend 80 hours rendering a frame, and it's totally fine because you can fit, I think it's something like 15,000 or 20,000 times more compute power in the same footprint that we had in Toy Story. So it just, when you think about it that way, it completely changes the scope of what you can imagine doing with a film, right? It's very strange.
Absolutely.
Especially since it's only been, what, 25, 27 years or something? Wow.
Lightyear is also the first IMAX
Yeah.
feature film. Can you tell me a little bit?
Yeah, that was something that was important to me early on, partially because I knew I wanted to have the film be this big theatrical experience, and IMAX is a great format to do that. And I think it also signals genuinely that the kind of movie that it is this kind of event film that should be seen in IMAX. So early on, we pitched that to the head of the company, and Jim Morris was totally behind it. And then that required us to come up with a new pipeline to process the third of the movie in IMAX.
When you were writing the story,
Mm-hmm.
Have you been completely free to design the character of Buzz Lightyear, or did you have to respect some established aspects?
Well, there's certain things you want to maintain. The thing that, even though he's not a side character, and since he's a main character now, the big thing was Buzz is a character that has a disagreement over the nature of reality. In Toy Story, he thinks he's a ranger. What he thinks he's a toy, that kind of thing. So for this one, having him out of time had him at odds with the side characters in the movie. And that was a spirit, like a thematic similarity. There was a lot of trial and error to figure out what was the right balance of hubris and ego and emotional heft and regret, and what was the right balance of, I mean, like I said, right balance of that for the movie. It was mostly trial and error. It wasn't like you have to do this, you have to do that. It was just finding it over the years.
And the nice thing is that we've both worked on so much of Buzz over the years, right? That we feel like we know the character, we know that we love the character, and so we could trust our instincts and say, put something up, take a look at it, and go, oh no, that's not quite right yet. So that was great.
I would advise people to stay in their seats when the credits start rolling, because there's not just one, there's 3 mid and after credit scenes. And the very last of them might give a hint whether we're going to see more of Buzz Lightyear. Not giving anything away, but how are the chances?
Well, I think we have to see how the film is received, and if that is something that people want internally to do. I'd be open to it. I mean, I like this world that we've created, and I think that more stories could be told. But yeah.
When you take a look at the final film now, is it exactly what you had in mind in the first place, or did it change over the course of the production?
Well, it always changes over the course of production, what you find works, what you find doesn't. But the impression that the movie gives me is exactly what I wanted in the beginning. As a fun sci-fi adventure that Andy would have seen and would have made him want to Buzz Lightyear, would have really affected him in ways of loving cinema and loving film and loving the world of Buzz Lightyear, space, yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for being here, and good luck with the film.
Thank you.
It's going to be received wonderfully.
Thank you.
And good luck, and to infinity.
And beyond. Great questions. Yeah.
Thank you
so much.